Chapter 15. Forget and Forgive. Severus's point of view. Early the following morning. After thinking a lot last night, I decided I needed to go to the hospital and talk to Miranda about all this. If I'm being honest with myself, I barely got any sleep last night. All that I could do was think about her and how I shouldn't have reacted that way. Not to mention the conversation I had with Albus as well. I realized what I did was wrong, and I guess you could say I'm mentally paying for it. It's been quite some time since I felt this way. What is this girl doing to me? I haven't felt this way about anyone other than Lily, someone I'll forever have a love for. Maybe it's time I jump at the chance with Miranda and see what happens. How far to go with it is the question. I don't know what to expect by going to see her, but it's worth a try. I cannot believe I'm even saying this, but I'm nervous and scared about this decision. All because I don't want to face her, since I don't know what her reaction towards me will be. What if she doesn't want to see me? What if she changes her mind about how she feels? Is it worth going for this risk? How far can I go with this? I wouldn't be able to look into her eyes while teaching potions if that's the case. I hope that she will look deep inside her heart to really forgive me. I just have to take a deep breath and go in there with my head held high. Oh God, now I'm starting to sound like a Gryffindor with my bravery. I can't go through with this unless I try to forgive myself. After all, what's done is done. I mean, one cannot forget, but maybe one can find it within themselves to forgive and move on. Bloody hell, I feel so dumb for doing this and hurting her like that. Some way, somehow, I really have come to have such feelings towards her. It wasn't my original intention to accidentally fall for a student like this, but it happened. It occurred so unexpectedly and quickly that it left me paralyzed. I shouldn't care what other students, staff, or anyone says or thinks, but so far, I have. It only should matter what I feel deep inside. I don't know why it took me this long to see my real feelings for her. I guess it's just me being the way that I truly am. But why in hell am I so afraid? Better yet, what in the bloody hell made a young girl like Miranda choose me? In a way, I know that the love I have for Lily Potter will always be there. It'll last forever. No matter whom I've come to love until my untimely death, I can't ever fully forget about Lily. I also know that Miranda is young and just a student, but I can't bloody deny any longer about how I feel deep inside. I swear, she puts a bloody spell on me. And now, I want her more than anything else at the current moment. If she does somehow forgive me, she probably won't ever forget about this. This I do know for sure. However, there's a part of me still saying that this is wrong, and I should break it off and act harshly to hurt her, so she'll stay away from me romantically. She partly doesn't deserve me. She partly deserves someone better, and she's still young. She has a whole life ahead of her. I sighed and took a deep breath and put on the bravest, cool face I could. I walked to the hospital wing to see how bad she was and let myself in, but I stood near the opening. Luckily, to my dismay, she looked better than yesterday and is healing nicely. I then go silently to myself, feeling that same amount of guilt and full of regret hitting me like a ton of bricks. I didn't realize I was still standing in the doorway, not moving, until Miranda said in a soft voice, making me snap out of it. "You can come in here, Professor Snape, if you like to. I'm the only one here. It's just us." I slowly walked over to her and decided to sit in the chair that was next to her bed. I guess that someone stayed with her for a while, someone being that Potter. Suddenly, my heartbeat started to increase as I looked down, not being able to say a word to Miranda. I know I'm sometimes silent, but this is one of those times where I actually can't say anything. I knew that sorrow was written clearly all across my face. My eyes, which usually give out a cold look, somehow now have faith, love, and regret deep in them. My hair had started to cover my eyes, not that she seemed to notice, but I felt that she wanted me to say something. I could almost start to slightly feel my eyes watering, and it felt strange. I could barely handle how fast my heart is beating. It feels like it's about to explode right out of my chest. Was something deep inside me slowly changing? I want to speak, but I cannot find the right words to even begin to explain how sorry I am. What kind of effect is she having on me? I couldn't even fully look at her without feeling guilty. I know at least that my actions were wrong. I finally got the courage to look up at her as she stared into me with those gorgeous eyes. Look, Miranda, I know you're most likely really bloody mad at me for what I did to you, but I'm so deeply sorry from the bottom of my heart that I did that to you. I feel incredibly guilty. My temper got out of control, and I was listening to people who I shouldn't have. I've never known myself to get so angry and lash out, but I shouldn't have done that to you. It was wrong with me too. I swear I'll never lay a hand on you in that way ever again. I should have believed you all along, and I'm sorry that I didn't listen. Whether someone listened to what I said and done, I don't know. I'm sorry that I wasn't really thinking about what was being said or done. I wanted to come apologize to you sometime after it happened, but Madame Pomfrey wouldn't let me in to see you. I couldn't stop crying all night or sleep much, and Then I was caught off by the feeling of her softly kissing my lips. Startled by surprise, it took me a second for me to move, but I carefully sat on the bed beside her. I wrapped my arms around her and kissed her back. She let go for a moment and stared into my dark midnight eyes. "What is it?" I asked. "You're bad for me. You do know that, right?" "We're both bad for each other, Miranda. It may even be toxic, but is it worth it? You tell me. The things and the way I feel so wrong but right at the same time, and yet cannot be denied. Professor Dumbledore told me to go with my heart and not with my brain, and that's what I tend to try and do. Being with each other is sexually dangerous. I know it is, Severus, but if we both eventually decide to dive into that sort of thing, we should be more cautious. Yes, if we do, we both should, and I swear I won't let my emotions or anger get the best of me again. I think a single kiss says all that needs to be said. I'm sorry, I just needed you to know how I felt somehow. I mean, I'm still very complex about a lot of things, but certain things cannot be denied at this point. That I know for sure. It's quite all right, Miranda. However, I should tell you that I'm still quite unsure about where we stand. I know, Severus, I understand, as I'm feeling the same way. I looked at her to whisper, "Can you ever somehow forgive me, Miranda?" She responded softly with tears in her eyes. I forgive you, Severus." I got even close to her, and I hugged her tightly. "Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate you." "You're welcome, Severus. I feel the same." She put her head against my chest, and I felt her smile beautifully. She then started to tell me that even though she forgave me, she won't be able to forget about this. I told her that was quite alright, because it really was, and I understood. In a way, I knew that she would somehow end up saying that. It's a straight consequence of my actions, and I accept responsibility for that. I do now, though, that loving her is a risk, but at this point in time, I'm going to do this a day at a time. Believe it or not, I feel a little happy and peaceful, even though I'm still quite back and forth on where to go from here. We lay in the hospital bed for what seemed like forever. Just then, I happened to glance down at her, noticing she was peacefully asleep. I honestly couldn't have asked for anything more than for her to forgive me, and if she has. I guess I can say that Albus was right after all. I can now tell that she really does somehow love me, or feel like that towards me. I hope that she knows that I adore her, but I think she already knows. All I could do was lay there and smile, which is something I don't usually do. But I'm going to enjoy this moment anyway. I thought about how I never opened up about my past. I was afraid to. After a while, I felt her waking up and had looked up at me. Somehow, she knew I had something to say, but I didn't know how to. She didn't say anything, but stared like she was waiting for me to say something. Miranda, I know that I never did tell you about my past. All I'll say is, I don't know if you know this or not, but I was once a Death Eater for the Dark Lord. She nodded her head and teared up. What's wrong? What is it? She looked up and shakily responded, I'm sorry, it's just... Voldemort killed my parents when I was 6 years old, Severus. My birth parents and Hermione's parents were best friends in the past because they were all Muggles. Since I've known her parents for most of my life, I've been with them since my parents were killed. I was an only child and didn't know any of my parents' family members either. No one seemed to want or care for me other than Hermione's parents, so they ended up adopting me after no one else claimed me. I didn't say anything as I took that all in. I honestly took notice that she wasn't afraid to say Voldemort's name at all either. I guess Granger's parents took her in for adoption before she would end up being an orphan, I guess. I knew it had to be hard for her to find that out about me, but that's all I'm telling her for now. The one thing that she could not know is that the Dark Lord had forced me to help him kill her parents back then. It was an emotional wreck for her, and that's the last thing I want to do to her is make it even worse. I had made her forget that she ever saw me that day, only live in the memories of what occurred. There wasn't anything I could say or do to not go. I knew how powerful he was and how he could do anything to me by threatening me. She then said softly, My life has never been fully the same since they died. My parents died protecting me, exactly like Harry's parents did. I'm so sorry to hear about all this, Miranda, and how hard your life was. I can only imagine witnessing such a thing. Potter is the only one known to have gone through such a horrible thing. I responded in my cool voice, but also trying to express some of my soft side so she knew I cared. She wiped her tears away. It's fine, Severus. I'm moving on from it. I have no choice but to. I cannot bring them back, and I wish I could. I just miss them is all. Also, kind of random, but besides you liking me, Harry likes me too, I think. He and I are really great friends and all, but I had a crush on him before I had a major crush on you. I would honestly enjoy being with you more. I cannot deny what I feel, and somehow my heart keeps drawing me back to you. I don't know what it is or how to explain it. I understand your situation and decision, Miranda, but I'm also glad you're deciding to choose me as long as we both of us agree, I said in my cool voice. I was trying to prevent my cool voice because of the fact that I felt pure jealousy deep in me growing. That Potter, I didn't like him. He looks like him and does stuff like James used to do. But he does have Lily's eyes, which is why I cannot look at them without thinking of her. But knowing now that he might like her in some aspect can give her motivation if things go wrong between us, or if I push her to go to him and not me. Then the nurse came in and told Miranda that she was free to go since she was healed enough to leave. I decided to wait for her outside of the hospital wing when she got ready. I watched carefully as she got out of bed, changed into her robes, and went out the hospital wing, where I stood in the doorway outside. I held the door for her, and she smiled softly, walking past me. I softly smiled back and grabbed her hand as she held it gently. We decided to walk side by side, holding hands since everyone was out enjoying breakfast.